percentages, fractions, and decimals, because we need to understand these so that we can use them in our financial calculations for wages and finding percentages of amounts and those kinds of things, okay? So we need to understand percentages, fractions, and decimals first. So up the top of the page it says percentages, fractions, and decimals can all be converted to one another, and you need to know how to do that. They express the same kind of quantities. We use percentages for many different things in our daily lives, especially in financial matters and profits. Some examples are loans, credit cards, discounts, and profits. To change a decimal or a fraction to a percentage, that's the dot points now, you multiply by 100. If you want to convert from a percentage to a fraction, you have to divide by 100. To convert a percentage to a decimal, you also divide by 100. And to express one quantity as a percentage of another, write them as a fraction and then multiply by 100. Who thought that was confusing? Yep, I do. I don't like wordy things, I like formulas. Clayton, are you with us? Yeah. Anton's trying to do a test, so don't distract him, please. So, to help explain all of those 4 dot points, I want you to draw a little diagram for me. So, in the little space underneath, we're going to have fractions and decimals over here. And on the other side, we're going to have percentages. Now, if I have a fraction or a decimal, so it's either one of those, I'll put an or in between there. If I have a fraction or a decimal and I want to get to a percentage, so I'm following the arrow to go to a percentage, you need to multiply by 100. If you have a percentage and you want to go to the fraction or the decimal, then you're going to divide by 100. Now the only extra tricky part there is getting between the fraction or the decimal. Now hopefully I'm hoping someone in here can tell me the trick to change between a fraction or a decimal. We did it last lesson, that SD button. So when you're doing your timesing by 100 or dividing by 100 in a calculator, if it gives you the decimal and you want the fraction, you're just going to press that SD button and it will change it for you. Okay, so let's put a little reminder in here. So for these ones, press the SD button to change between those two. Okay, easy peasy. All right, so let's practice. We have a little table here. We have a fraction in the first column. We want to change to a decimal and a percentage. So the first one's done for us. Let's go to the second one. If I use my calculator and I type in the fraction 1/2. Okay, if I want that to be a decimal, what should I do? Well, press the SD. Actually, you do need to press equals first, and then you press the SD, and it will change it. And you can keep pressing that button, and it will go fraction, decimal, fraction, decimal, fraction, decimal. Okay, so that makes 0.5, and I'm glad, Clayton, that you actually knew that one. You didn't actually need your calculator for it. So there we go, 0.5. Now, how do I get from my fraction or decimal to the percentage? Follow that arrow. What do? Times it by 100. So I just go times on my calculator here, and times 100. You might be able to do that one in your head as well. And we get 50%. Kind of makes sense because 0.5, you're halfway, should be 50%. Half of the total, which is 100. All right, let's do it again for the 1/3. So we start by typing in our fraction, 1/3. First of all, we want to turn it into a decimal, so I press, nope, not yet. The fraction and the decimal, if I want to change between those two, I just press the SD button. Okay, now this one, did I press equals first? Sorry, and then the SD button. This one is what's the name of that thing? We did them last, I'm helping you, Anton here. That's a recurring decimal, don't listen. Okay, so, how do I write that? With a dot. The dot at the top to show that it's recurring. So 0.3, and we put the dot above it to show that that's a recurring decimal. How do I make it a percentage? Using my diagram, I've got a decimal now. How do I get to a percentage? Times by 100 equals. Okay, it's giving me a fraction. That's a bit strange. I don't really want a fraction, so I press my SD button. Okay, 33.33333 or 33.3 with a dot percentage. Okay, a quarter. We've done a couple of these now. A quarter, see if you can do it. Type them in. What is it as a decimal? Anyone got it before I do? Will, what is it? Perfect. 0.25. Okay, somebody else. How do I change that to a percentage? Clayton, must be your turn.
What was the question again? Sorry?
Quarter. To turn it to a decimal, I've used my SD button. I'm 0.25, and now I want to get to a percentage. Jake, can you help?
Divide by 100.
Not divide.
Times.
And what happens? What do you get when you times by 100?
25%.
25%. Good. All right. Zala, you want to turn? No, you're too shy. Isabella, do you want to turn?
Yeah.
All right, so type in the 1/5. What is it as a decimal? Can you get it? Even if you're not going to tell me, you've got it.
No.
So put 1/5 in, press the SD button, or press equals first, sorry, and then press the SD button. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Yeah, perfect. 0.2. Okay, we have the decimal. How do I get to the percentage? Same all the time. I times by 100, which is Ashton.
20%.
Yes, you've gone ahead, haven't you? You've done the whole chart. You have. Good job. Okay, once you understand, it's very easy to do the rest of them. Okay, so now type the next one in. 1/10. Press equals. Jake, must be your turn. What is 1/10 as a decimal? 0.1. Perfect. And do you know what that is as a percentage as well? 10%. Very good. Okay, so everybody getting this? Yes? What's the last two? Oh, I've got three more to do. 1/20. What is that as a 0.05? Oh, good. You're getting very fast. And as a percentage?
5.
Yes, 5%. Very good. 1/50. What is that as a decimal? 0.02, which as a percentage is 2%. Am I going too fast? You're understanding? You're getting these? Yeah? All right, so last one. 1/100 as a decimal? 0.01, which is 1%. Good. So it sounds like you're all understanding how to change between the fractions, decimals, and percentages there in the table. So these other ones down here are just slightly wordier versions, but they're really doing the same thing. Why aren't you scrolling? Come on, keep up. All right. My screen has moved, but that one hasn't. Oh, that's why. It's disconnecting me. Someone's disconnecting me. Let's try again. Bring it back. There we go. There we go. All right. So, question 1A. We want to rewrite these as their fractions, and we want to write it as a percentage. So, using that diagram, I have a fraction, and I want to get to the percentage, which means I times by 100. So the working out that you would show is 17/25 is my starting number, and I want to multiply it by 100. Okay, you're showing how you get the answer. Okay, typing it in. 17/25. Make sure you're writing this in your booklet, please. Okay, so that's 68%. Okay, next one. We have 8.5%, and we want to go to a fraction. So I'm not going to keep scrolling back up, but you've got that diagram on your page. How do I get from a percentage to a fraction? Divide by 100. So you're going to type in 8.5, divide by 100. Make sure the calculator gives you a fraction answer. 8.5, if I go divide 100, will it give me a fraction or a decimal? It gave me a decimal. So what should I do? Press that SD button because we want it to be a fraction. So it's 17/200. You can actually write this question here. 8.5 divide is also the same as over 100. Okay, they mean the same thing. If you type it in like that into your calculator, it's more likely to give you the fractional answer straight up. Okay, so just remember that an over line also means the same thing as divide. Okay, question 2. Now we want to convert between percentages and decimals. So first of all, we have 0.55. That's a decimal. And we want to change it to a percentage. Use your diagram. How do I get from a decimal to a percentage? Times by 100. So I'm going 0.55, that's my number, and I'm timesing it by 100. What do you get? 55%. Okay, make sure when you're finding a percentage that you put the percentage sign on the end of it, okay? And part B, write 25%, so we have the percentage this time, and we want to go back to the decimal, which means I divide by 100. So it's 25. How about this time, instead of the divide sign, I use the fraction one, because either one is fine. Divide sign, fractionalize, they mean the same thing. 25/100. And make sure the calculator gives us a decimal, so I'm going to press that SD button. So 0.25. Need to be very comfortable pressing that SD button to change between fractions and decimals as often as you need to. Okay, question 3. Writing a quantity as a percentage, and it's giving you a hint in the brackets there. You must have the same units. So I've got 50 cents and I've got $2.50. Okay, so they're not the same units. I have to make them the same before I can do my percentage. Now, it's always easier to change the bigger unit. So dollars is bigger than cents, right? So I'm going to change $2.50 into cents. How do you change dollars into cents? How many cents are in a dollar? 100. So you want to times that by 100. So if you need a little, you can put a little times 100 up there. So that is 250 cents. Okay, so just a little conversion to start with. Is that all right? So now I want to write 50 as a percentage of 250. Now if I say you got 50 out of 250, you can write that as a fraction. It's kind of like what you'd say for a test. Hopefully you wouldn't get 50 out of 250, but it's like how we talk about when we get a score for something, right? You write them as a fraction. 50 out of 250. Now the whole goal here is that I want to make it a percentage. So I've written it as a fraction here. How do I make a fraction a percentage with the diagram? Did you say divide? Times by 100. Times 100 to turn it into a percentage. That diagram is so important. It will make your life much easier if you're confident using it. So let's type that in. 50/250 and times by 100. To make it a percentage, that's 20%. Let's try that again. Part B. Here it is, a score. You get a score of 23 out of 30, and we want to make it a percentage. Are the units the same? 20, they don't really have any meters or anything on them, so yes, they're the same. We're going to put the 23 on the top and the 30 on the bottom. We're making it a fraction. That's how you write your score on the top of your test or your quiz, whatever it would be. And how do I make that a percentage?
Times by 100.
Times by 100. If I have a fraction, to make it a percentage, we multiply by 100 and type that into your calculator. 23 over 30.
76.
76, is it? Good job.
76.
Oh, okay, so 76.6666. So that would be 76.6 with a dot above it. When they put the, let me put my percentage sign there. When they put the 7 on the end, so when you look at that in your calculator, and some people they go 6666, oh, it's not repeating, so I've got a 7 there. They always round that last digit, okay? So it is still a 6 repeating the whole way. They just rounded that last digit because they can't put any more on the screen. Okay, one more. We have 5 boys out of 11 students and we want it as a percentage. So first of all, write it as a fraction. There's 5 boys out of 11 students. To make it a percentage, we times by 100 and type it in our calculator. 45, is it? Exactly?
Yeah, 45.45.
45.45.
45.
If there's 2 numbers recurring, boy, we're really helping Anton today, aren't we? We can put dots above both of them, or we can put a bar across the top of both the ones that are repeating. And that's it. That's what we're practicing today. We just want to make sure you're really confident with those fractions, decimals, and percentages, and then we're going to use them with some money questions.